get Cassie Wolf run and pump for enough damage to kill.
Interesting.
Or you can, I don't know, some versions have Cassie Wolf run, some don't. The other option is you can just make Knight big enough to 20 your opponent by just getting every land out of your deck and sacking it.
That seems pretty good. It seems to, I mean, without Cassie Wolf run, it seems like if they have a blocker, it just kind of messes you up.
Yeah. He can kill on turn 3, though. If he goes turn 1 Noble, turn 2 Knight, turn 3 Retreat, he can win the game.
Oh. Does he have... Wait, no. None of the Reliquary doesn't have a mana cost to activate, right? It's just tap?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Alright, so here we go. Start of the game. Denby. Yep. Tom Denby over here. Fetch Shocking, getting a Breeding Pool. Playing a Glistener off turn 1. You know, classic Infect start. You don't know what you're up against. The best thing to do is just slam the Glistener off and hope it's fast enough.
Yeah, Vinny's hand, this is looking like a turn 1 Noble. I saw a Spell Queller and some lands. I couldn't make out any other cards. So that's not particularly good if that's all he has.
I guess it does depend on Tom's hand. Like, if he's leaning on, like, 1 or 2 pump spells and just doesn't draw another one, then, you know, maybe it's enough, but...
Sure.
Tom plays his own Noble Hierarch. Looks like he probably doesn't have lane 2, which is not uncommon in Infect. They do only play like 17 or 18 lands usually. I think my list is on 18. Vinny does have a Path to Exile in his hand, which if he's smart, he'll just fire it off right now. Giving Tom a land when he's missing a land drop seems dangerous, and it can be if he has another threat to back it up. So yeah, he just does it right away. That's the smart thing to do.
Yeah, he has the path.
Yeah, I think he drew it for that turn. Which is
okay, so he did take 1 Infect there, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And then Vinny's follow-up is a Scooze, which isn't particularly great. It's pretty good if Tom has a Become Immense in his hand.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually he'll be able to cast it, but if Tom's like, yeah, I want to really cast this thing on like turn 3, turn 4.
Yeah, if Vinny has nothing else to cast here, it's probably correct to just start eating things out of his graveyard.
Yeah. Okay, here we go, Inkmoth. That's a really good. I'm pretty sure Vinny doesn't have really a way to deal with it, especially since he got rid of one of his paths.
And now he has the other elf too. So. Yeah. Did he take 2 Infect? He would have had the Exalted trigger, right? Or did he play the Noble before combat? Or not?
No, I think he did.
Okay, so it would be 2.
I did let him borrow Infect. He did ask me, and I have commented with him before. He's a pretty good friend of mine, so I told him to be careful with it, because as you can tell, it's pretty pimped out. So, you know, I put a lot of work into it.
So Vinny gonna attack in here for 3.
Yeah, it's free. I mean, Infect, like, never blocks unless they have to live.
Yeah. See if he has a follow-up. It looks like just lands and Spell Queller still.
Yeah.
I can't tell what the bottom card is. That looks like a spell, I think.
I don't know. It looks blue. Maybe it is a spell.
It could be Retreat.
Yeah, that does like nothing
I think
here.
if it is Retreat, you just play it anyway.
Yeah, that way if you draw Knight, you just have it.
Yeah.
And what is the other ability on Retreat? You get to untap a creature or do something else, right?
Yeah, untap a creature. I mean, I guess I can pull it up with our card spotter thing. I don't think the other mode is ever used at all.
I doubt it. I mean, why would you when you can win the game with the combo, right?
Not that one. This one.
I'm getting a look at the other screen as it's coming up here. The other ability is to scry 1, which isn't the worst. I mean, it's like, if you don't have anything else to do, you can start trying to find the combo faster. I mean, against Infect, it's like definitely not fast enough.
Yeah, and like on average, unless you have like absolutely nothing else to do, I think untapping something is basically always going to be better.
Yeah, and to note, the ability is to tap or untap. So if he has like a fetch land, he can play it and then try to tap.
Yeah. He definitely during his combo taps his opponent's entire team down. And
okay,
then
so that's how he
for
wins.
20.
I gotcha, yeah.
So Tom's going to attack for 2.
Just 2 right now. I'm assuming he has at least 1 pump spell in hand, so that's what Vinny is thinking about. He's like, well, I could either attempt to not die by just taking it, or I could...
He can also flash in Spell Queller to block it.
Yeah, get a no-value Spell Queller.
Yeah, but like that threatens to kill it if he doesn't waste a pump spell.
Yeah.
So that seems like a decent use of the card. You're still trading like 1-for-1. So he's gonna Mutagenic Growth.
A second Mutagenic Growth.
Second Mutagenic Growth.
Paying mana for both.
Spell Quellering the second one.
That seems fine.
I'm assuming that was after blocks.
Yeah, there's no way he would have fired off those before blocks were declared.
Yeah, so now he's taking 4 Infect here, up to 6.
Yeah. And 6 is pretty dangerous. I mean, that like most of your pump spells pump for 4, so like anywhere above 5 is pretty dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So, and knowing, I mean, like me knowing the deck list, there is no way to get that spell from under Spell Queller unless he blocks.
Yeah,
and then it doesn't matter.
And he might have to be honest. I didn't see the Ghost Quarter. Never mind. I was gonna say like with Inkmoth Nexus in play, that Spell Queller kind of is just used as a blocker, but with the Ghost Quarter in play, he gets to just remove it. I'm not sure how many Ghost Quarter he plays, but that's definitely like a piece of interaction he needs to see in most games to win here.
Yeah. Unless Vinny like just draws a knight off the top, like I think Tom is still pretty favored to win here because it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get the Infect off the board. And eventually Tom's going to draw like a Distortion Strike or a way to get through his creatures and then a pump spell.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, actually, Haver brought up a decent point in chat. You can sandbag fetches to tap Infect creatures down with Retreat.
Right. That's what I had said before. So.
Yeah. Okay, so he's going to swing in for 3 with the Spell Queller, and then he'll cast his Retreat. And then he gets to play his fetch land and untap his Spell Queller, so he can leave up a blocker.
Yeah, it seems good. And now that he, like we just said, he has a fetch land, so, you know, having that, being able to block. If Tom does say, hey, I can make my dude unblockable, he's like, all right, well, I'll just tap it. Although, if he does have a hexproof, like a way to make it hexproof, he can still blow him out.
I mean, I think you still go for it. I think beginning of combat, you crack Windswept Teeth to attempt to tap down Glistener Elf.
Yeah, no, there's no...
It looks like that's what he's doing. Because then you force him to either waste a pump spell or skip a combat step, which seems really good.
Yeah. I mean, and I think Vinny only has 1 card left in his hand.
Oh, he's casting 2 more Glistener Elves.
Jeez,
okay,
what is this hand that he had?
All 4 of them. Did he shock in the Temple Garden?
It looks like it's going to, but he could have just thrown it on the table and not tapped it yet. Nope, he shocked it in. Oh no, he didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just knew he was gonna untap.
Makes sense. Okay, so now he's just looking for a Knight of the Reliquary, and then he's gonna have to take a turn off.
Yeah.
And just untap with it and win.
Yeah. Which against 3 Glistener Elves is kind of a, you know, it's a thing that it might have to happen like in the next turn or 2.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, Tom also only has 1 card in hand, so he can't save all of them if he just like blocks.
Yeah, I could see Vinny's hand. It was a fetch line and a Voice of Resurgence.
Okay, Voice is like decent here.
Yeah,
it's another blocker, and now that means that the Spell Queller gets to fly over for 3 every turn still.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like he's thinking about whether or not he wants to swing in with it.
I think it's free here, right? Because he attacks and then just plays the fetch line and untaps it.
Yeah, he has the land in hand still, right? Okay, yeah, he's even going to attack with the Scoos because he can technically untap 2 creatures.
Yeah. Or tap one of Denby's attackers.
Yeah. So he's going to fall to 7. And then plays a Misty Rainforest and untaps that Spell Queller.
Yeah, Tom didn't really get off to a good start. If my memory serves, the actual only pump spells he's drawn all game was 2 Mutagenic Growths.
Yeah.
And all creatures.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. And now he just exiled one of those from the graveyard, so if he draws Become Immense, it's just a dead draw.
Yeah. It's You know,
And
like I said, I did let Tom borrow the deck, so he's not like an expert at it, nor do I even know if he's ever even played it, and I'm pretty sure he just drew Become Immense.
And this is a upkeep. He cracked his fetch land to tap down a Glistener Elf, and then use the green mana from that forest to exile the wooded foothills.
Yeah.
So yeah, if he has Become Immense here, he's just gonna swing in. And yep.
That was very bad draws. You know, sometimes it happens. I think if I got right, the last 2 cards in his hand were Become Immense and the 3rd Mutagenic Growth.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do there.
All right, here over on Tom's sideboard, he's got 2 Nature's Claims, 3 Shaper Sanctuaries, 1 Dispel, 1 Wild Defiance, 3 Invisible Stalker, 1 Hurkyl's Recall, 1 Spellskite, 1 Spell Pierce, and 2 Ravenous Traps.
Spellskite's probably fine. Yeah, that would be Dan not knowing how to spell. Spellskite's fine.
It's okay.
Vinny's only interaction is Path and Retreat. And being able to Spellskite Retreat triggers is pretty decent.
Yeah, 2 life to make it so you can't tap my dudes.
Shaper Sanctuary triggers off that too, right?
Correct. Anytime a creature is targeted.
Yeah, so that seems fine here too.
It seems a little risky because there's not like a lot of interaction, so like he could bring it in, but it makes the deck a little more diluted.
I kind of like Spell Pierce for countering Retreat.
Yep. Spell Pierce I would bring in here, and then other than that, like maybe the Sanctuary. Nothing else is really that. Or Nature's Claim too, right? Because if he knows how the deck works, he can Nature's Claim and just blow up Retreat and slow
honestly,
down.
I think Nature's Claim might be too narrow because it beats only Retreat, and we saw like a draw where like Retreat was in play, but it didn't really win him the game.
Yeah.
So like if another draw like that happens, the Nature's Claim doesn't really look that good.
Yeah, that's true. So on the other side of Vinny, he's got 2 Negate, 1 Disdainful Stroke, 1 Vendilion Click, 2 Stony Silence, 2 Damping Sphere, 1 Settle the Wreckage, 2 Night of Autumn, 1 Timely Reinforcements, 1 Blessed Alliance, 1 Bojuka Bug, and 1 Elspeth, Sun's Champion.
Blessed Alliance definitely comes in. Vendilion Click definitely comes in.
Negates probably. I mean, they're a little slow, but I mean, if you like hit one of the +4/+4 ones, and he's like tight on mana sometimes.
Negate's okay.
Settle the Wreckage is pretty good too.
Yeah, Settle definitely comes in. I don't.
Damping Sphere is a consideration because then I can't. It takes like instead of like 1 or 2 turns to kill you, it takes like 3 or 4 turns.
Sure.
But I mean, I don't know his deck exactly, so I don't know how willing he is to like cut spots for all of these cards.
Yeah, I don't think he has enough space to put in everything. I probably just bring in Blessed Alliance, Settle the Wreckage, and Vendilion Click, and leave it at that.
Yeah, that's
cut things like Scavenging Ooze that are like not really real cards in this matchup.
Yeah,
and go with that.
So I still stand by what I said. You know, I think Tom is still pretty favored to win, like pretty significantly. If his hand had, like, I think he would have won that game if his hand had any significant pump spells.
Yeah, I don't know. That was kind of a questionable keep.
Yeah.
Like, especially in the dark, because if you get a creature-based matchup, you're just never getting damage through with that hand. Yeah, like, his hand right now, he's just got...
I'm pretty sure I saw a Glistener Elf and a Blighted Agent.
Yeah. I couldn't see the rest, but assuming it's like some number of pump spells, that's probably fine.
Yeah, exactly. Over on Vinny's side, I see a Spell Queller, some lands, and a Noble Hierarch.
Yeah, so...
And I think he has the Retreat as well. Yeah, I saw it. He has a Retreat.
I don't see a Knight. So this is going to be turn 1 Noble, threatening to...
Play a turn 2 Retreat.
Play turn 2 Retreat. Play turn 2 Knight. Turn 2 Knight would completely stonewall the Glistener Elf.
I don't think so.
It would force him to waste pump spells to get through.
Well, yeah, but then you kill his Knight, which is like part of his combo, which I think is still fine. Then your pump spells become removal spells.
Yeah.
which is fine. I think if you're removing
I
their key
think I think
creatures.
Vinny's more willing to play a long game than Tom is, though.
Yeah.
He's gonna get in for 5 here.
Yep.
Yep. He's just got to take 5.
Yep. And then plays a fetch land, says go. Got to get the beats in while I can. There was a consideration to play Blighted Agent there, knowing that he's a creature deck, but it does slow his clock down pretty significantly at this point. So he might be worried about retreats or Spellquellers. Like,
yeah.
If he waits too long.
Vinny's play here definitely telegraphs that he's holding up Spellqueller.
Mm-hmm.
He just shocked in a Temple Garden and passed. So Tom now, I think Tom now has to swing in with Glistener Elf, play nothing.
Yeah.
Beforehand, because if you run anything into the Spellqueller, you're losing a lot of value.
Yep. All right. So
yeah. So he just has to get in here for 1.
Yep. And he just says, "All right, go. Either you're gonna waste a turn, or you're gonna flash this thing in."
Okay. So now he has to Spellqueller this. Yeah. See, he knew.
Yeah, and that's fine. If Tom's hand is like pump spells now, he's like, "All right, cool. I got the Spellqueller out of your hand, and now I'm going to attack you, and you either block and give me a Blighted Agent, or you don't, and I'm probably gonna kill you."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now he's got this 3-power flyer. Okay, so
he's got 2 lands and
he's showing us his hand.
2 lands and a Blossoming Defense.
Doesn't look great here.
It's not super great, but he does have a lot of live draws. So, and just like having the threat of having the pump spells,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Okay, so retreat to Coral Helm. Probably, if he has a fetch land, this is really good. Because it means Tom now has to take a turn off or waste the Blossoming Defense to dispel the
tap trigger.
The trigger.
Yeah.
I don't think he has a fetch land in hand, though. Oh, is that a Misty Rainforest?
Nope.
Oh, it's a
Bojuka Bog.
It's a Bojuka Bog, okay.
That is an interesting pick put in. Like, I know that Become Immense is a real consideration, but that seems a bit much.
Yeah. Does get to attack for 4 here, though.
Yeah. And then Tom fetches, going down to 11, right?
Mm-hmm. In this format, I definitely think Bojuka Bog is an auto-include in any Knight of the Reliquary deck.
Yeah, for sure.
I believe he brought that in out of the sideboard, though. Yeah, that was in his sideboard.
Yeah, for sure, which is, I think, what the questionable pick is. Although, it's like you're replacing a land, so, like, how you're not really taking much out for it.
Yeah, it's probably okay. Like, it only interacts with Become Immense, but that's probably fine. Yeah, he's just going to block that.
Yep.
He's perfectly fine giving up his Noble for that. Yep. And now he's still holding Unknown card and Blossoming Defense.
It is another land.
Okay.
Vinny did draw another Spellqueller here, which is really good.
Are you sure he isn't on one main, one side? I think I would be in his situation. We don't know that.
We do not know.
Yeah, I would agree. If I was playing this deck, I would probably have one in my main deck. Tom taking another 3 here from the Spellqueller flying over.
Yeah, right now he really needs to find a like an Inkmoth Nexus.
Yeah. Just some way to get more points of Infect through. Because he's just stuck here at 6. And Vinny's even got the Field of Ruin in hand to beat an Inkmoth Nexus right now. So he's going to have to waste a Hexproof spell on the Inkmoth Nexus if he ever finds it to keep it alive.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that bad. Because he'll have to do it on Tom's turn. So it's not really a waste because it'll pump it anyway.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, if he's doing it into like an untapped Spellqueller and he has to like vines it, like that kind of feels bad. But
right. Then he gets his Blighted Agent back.
Yeah. So it's not like the worst thing ever.
It is notable here that he gets to play Field of Ruin, untap something, and then during Tom's turn he can activate it and tap down one of his attackers.
Yeah.
So that's something he can do here. It's like almost as good as a fetch land, but not quite. Vinny not comboing off either of these 2 games, but his deck still looking a lot better than we expected in this matchup.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's like attributed to like honestly like Infect is just running bad right now.
Yeah, we
Out
haven't
of both-
seen anything other than that one Might of Volcrosa
Yeah.
and like no other pump spells this game.
Mm-hmm.
And he got his Blighted Agent spell quellered, which is the main way he'd be able to push through damage normally this game.
Yep.
And like when I was thinking about this matchup before the match started, I didn't think of spell queller at all as a piece of interaction.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely like pretty good. Generally, like if you're on like a pretty good hand on Infect, it's like pretty slow because you're just like attack, pump it once, and they're like, all right, well I'll spell color it, and then they're like, all right, I'll pump it again.
Yeah. Okay, so he's gonna swing in with both. Vinny opting not to tap down a creature pre-combat. Okay, he did board in negate, so he negates the blossoming defense.
Yep.
And he has the vines and
spell
second spell queller. Okay, so that would make sense for why he did not activate Field of Ruin.
Yeah.
So yeah, now he just gets to go to blocks and eat both of these creatures. Or no, he blocked with. Okay, yeah, he blocked with Noble.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that looked rough. Settle off the top too. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, those are just some
rough.
Yeah, those are some really bad beats. Like, obviously knowing playing Infect, like it's not the easiest and most like straightforward one, especially when it comes to mulligans. Just because like you think it is, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, it's Infect. All you need is creatures and pump spells, and it's like, yeah, you